The Bronze Serpent. From Mount Hor, the Israelites set out by the way to the Red Sea, to go around the land of Edom. But the people became impatient on the way. The people spoke against God and against Moses. "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and we detest this miserable food." Then the Lord sent poisonous serpents among the people, and they bit the people, so that many Israelites died. The people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned by speaking against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord to take away the serpents from us." So Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said to Moses, "Make a poisonous serpent and set it on a pole, and everyone who is bitten shall look at it and live." So Moses made a serpent of bronze and put it upon a pole, and whenever a serpent bit someone, that person would look at the serpent of bronze and live.
What an absolutely bizarre story. We find ourselves journeying with the people of Israel, wandering in the wilderness. They find themselves at the boundary of Edom, and they are not granted passage through that land. And so they're going to have to work their way around. Some extra mileage, more sores upon their feet, extra days walking. And so they complain. What they say to Moses is, "We have no food or no water." What makes the story even more bizarre is that this is happening right after Meribah. Meribah, where the people truly found themselves without water. And so God says to Moses, "Take your rod and put it into that rock." And out of that rock came gushing water that satisfied their thirst. Cool, refreshing water. After this, the water from the rock, after the crossing of the Red Sea, after God's salvation from the Egyptians, the people still complain. Oh my God! How many times have we said that this last week? Why could God do these things to us? Or we look at the newspaper or the television, listen to the radio or surf the web. How is God allowing all these horrible things to happen? It seems so easy to put it over to God. Even when we have grace-filled experiences of God being with us and loving us and embracing us and comforting us. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb today. The scripture says that God sends these poisonous serpents because the people were complaining, and these serpents bit them and that they died. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that God would do that. In our tradition, it's important to look at Scripture as a whole from the perspective of an eagle. And what we see from that perspective is a God who is always willing to interact with our lives, with the lives of humanity, consistently. Not to bring condemnation, not to bring something hurtful, but what we see is a God who has compassion over and over and over again. A God who loves. A God who comforts. This is what we see in Scripture. So what I believe is not that God sent these serpents, but what I believe is that people complain. And when it gets a little difficult, it's so easy to say, "Oh my God, why'd you do this, God, to me? Why are you doing this to that person?" It's so easy to put it over to God. Thank goodness that God is God. That God has been consistent from the beginning of time. We have a promise of a rainbow. I will never again destroy humanity in order to save. A promise to Abraham. You are cherished. You are holy. A promise to the people of Israel. You shall be a priesthood to all nations. What God does in this story is take an instrument of death and brings healing. And we'll hear it again. We'll hear it again on Palm Sunday, on Good Friday. We will hear it again. God is consistent. God will take an instrument of death, the cross, and bring life. Breath of life. Life for our souls, life for our beings, life for us. This is the God we are called to worship. This is our God.